getting started with the Claret 8 Pre. In this video, we'll look at connecting and configuring your new Claret. First, please plug the power supply into the back of the Claret. Next up, you need a Thunderbolt cable. We can't manufacture a Thunderbolt cable as cost-effectively as Apple and other manufacturers can. So we took the decision not to include a Thunderbolt cable in the box for two reasons: to keep the selling cost of the product down, and to allow users to select a cable length that's appropriate for their particular setup. We recommend Thunderbolt cables by Apple and StarTech, which can be purchased online or from most computer or electrical stores. Plug this into the rear of the Claret and plug the other end into your computer's Thunderbolt port. Once you've done this, please launch Focusrite Control. You may be prompted to update the firmware at this point, so please run through this update if so. If the firmware update is not prompted, then it's not required and you can move on to the next steps. Now let's connect an XLR cable and a jack cable to the front of the Claret. And here in Focusrite Control, I'm switching the air mode on, which will be shown here on the front of the unit. Next, I need to set input 2 to an instrument input, which I can do by clicking here inside Focusrite Control. And the light on the front of the unit shows me that this is set up. You can connect your headphones just here and turn up the volume like so. You can also connect studio monitors to line outputs 1 and 2 like so. Now let's get your Claret set up with your DAW. Please skip to the time shown on screen for your DAW. Logic Pro X. Please go to Logic Pro X, Preferences, Audio, and Devices. Ensure that Focusrite Thunderbolt is selected under Output and Input Device. Click on Apply Changes, and you're all set up. Cubase. Please go to the Devices menu and select Device Setup. Select VST Audio System, and under this drop-down menu, select Focusrite Thunderbolt. Click Switch, and then select OK. Next, go to the Devices menu and select VST Connections. Remove the existing inputs in this section and select Add Bus. Now we need to add our buses. I'm going to set up 10 here and select Add Bus. Now under the Output section, remove this existing bus and click on Add Bus. Again, I'm going to set up 10 stereo buses. You can now close this window. You're all set up. Pro Tools. Inside Pro Tools, please go to Setup and Playback Engine. In this drop-down menu, ensure that Focusrite Thunderbolt is selected. If you do switch the playback device as shown on screen, Pro Tools will automatically save and close your session and then reopen it. Next, go to Setup and select I/O. Click on the Input tab and select Default. Click on the Output tab and select Default again. Your inputs and outputs are now correctly set up. Ableton Live. On a Mac, select Live and Preferences. On a PC, select Option Preferences. Then select the Audio tab. Select Focusrite Thunderbolt as the audio input and output device. Ableton Live Lite, which comes bundled with your Claret, allows you to run 8 audio inputs and 8 audio outputs simultaneously. So let's get these set up. Under Input Configuration, please select inputs 3 through to 8 in both mono and stereo like so. And under Output Configuration, please select outputs 3 through to 8 in both mono and stereo like so. If you wish to change the sample rate of the project, you can do so here, and you can adjust the buffer size just here. You're now set up and ready to work in Ableton.